My drug, I've never done a drug other than ibuprofen in my life. But the drug, and that's some hard stuff. You get to that 800.
Yeah.
Them 800s can get you right. But other than 800s,
That's gonna become new slang. I'm on an 800.
Fam, them 800,
800, bro.
Them 800
Crazy.
do a work.
800. 800.
Dog, I'll be outside at Walgreens like, cuz, you got the 800, you got the 800, dog.
Hey, listen, I
pull up on me. But other than that, but my drug which is as deadly as any drug, was vain ambition.
Wow.
Yeah, I was driven so strong. You know, I think that's why it's two guys in the Bible that stand out to me probably more than anyone else, and they're both in the Old Testament. And it's Joseph and David. I mean, these guys, man, we often talk about, going after something that you're not called to. But we don't deal with the tension of, I love what you said about John the Baptist. How do I exist in between a bona fide promise and manifestation?
Yeah.
Not I'm just inspired by TikTok, or I'm just trying to be the next Kirk, or I'm just, oh man, I saw this looks cool, let me do this, I want to be like that. No, I'm talking about a bona fide promise, a prophetic word over your life. Like, I get asked all the time in radio interviews, did you ever imagine? And I always feel weird because my truth is, yeah, I've always known what I was going to be doing. Like, that was no secret, especially in music. That's when the alert happened. I'm from charismatic Pentecostal, old school, 1988.
Yeah.
Pentecostal church. So back then everybody knew what you was gonna do.
That's right.
What's my purpose? They told you when you was 3, dog.
Yeah.
This is your future. That bishop came to you with that cologne on and spit in your face and told you exactly what the Lord said about you.
Stetson anointing.
You know what I mean? So that for me, I've always known. I've always known. But how do you exist in between? I got a word. Like how do you exist in the wild?
The time factor.
The time, man.
You never, whenever you learn of it, because you knew. So how old were you when you say how old were you?
5.
Yeah, 5 years old. It's like, what? I just want to say this. People, we got to put some respect on the old school Pentecostal church. Because I'm like, okay, yes, there was a lot of crazy stuff that went on. There was people standing on pews.
All of that.
Definitely happened.
All of that.
Flipping.
All of that.
People shouting and running into stuff.
Yeah. Real injuries.
It's real injury.
I've seen that.
I've seen it.
Head bust on an organist, Leslie, on a speaker. And that shout ended real fast. I saw that with my own eyes.
I saw this lady.
She was out of control until that speaker controlled her.
I saw this lady rocking like this.
Yeah.
And I thought she was worshiping. When I looked at her knee, it was bleeding.
Jesus.
She had failed and hurt herself.
Yeah.
All right. That's the extreme side of it. Yeah. I don't want to get too deep in that because people think this is my point. There were some extremes and all of it ain't that way. But let me just put some respect on this. When you get people that serious about hearing from God.
Yeah.
With that much faith. Like, you think about people that will go through such extremes of things that are not in the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be willing to do these things.
Absolutely.
For the sake of God's presence and hearing God and knowing God. Yes, you're wrong about what you're doing, but you're so right about your motivation.
Yeah. And passion.
And passion. Like, they would tell us, hey, you ready? They ain't gonna like you. you better, like, you go. We were out in the streets passing out tracts, like, don't worry about them liking it. They ain't like Jesus. You got to do this. This is your calling. You got to preach. Yeah. And I'm preaching to people. So they were just so sincere, but the prophetic.
Yeah.
That was accuracy.
Yeah.
Like, the word you got at 5 was right.
Yeah.
In a place that people would call unhealthy in a lot of ways. And we talk about legalism and religious, and yes, that's true. But you cannot nix out the fact God was in that, and that word was right.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, all through my childhood, I feel like every revival, I was a kid. It was like, hey, you.
Yes.
Funny talking kid. The Lord said.
Yes, yes.
And then it was just like, and so I always knew that, but then we get to your 20s, and then I'm just thinking it's going to happen overnight. And my 20s was the wild. I mean, and nothing happened until, 30. And so as far as, manifestation, so it just took, man, that those years were very critical. But that developed. I feel like that developed me to last.
Yeah.
Right. I'm at an age now. I'm 40. I'm more fascinated not by noise, but by longevity. There's something about longevity.
Yeah.
There's something about the CC Winans of the world. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like, you've been here. You know, like, man, you see awards and it's like, you've been here.
Yeah.
I remember she won a Grammy, a few years ago. She was on like a missions trip. You've been here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't, that's just different. She cut a little different, but I'm more fascinated by people like her than I am just people who just making a splash, because that, for me, I think it takes process. It takes some real, what you're talking about, that person. It takes those Tuesdays and Fridays personal worship to give you longevity. And so, but that's what comes to mind when you talk about my difference. I think process. And then the other thing, I think I put music in its rightful place.
Yeah.
For me, it's not an idol. It's just a tool. And a tool is anything that you can exchange, interchange, that you can pull out when it's needed. An idol is something that you're defined by. So I think of music as like, it's just a screwdriver. Like, if I need to, make something happen, I can pull it out.
Absolutely.
But it ain't my teddy. I ain't laying in the bed with it. You know what I mean? I'm not, oh God, what, it don't control my emotions, my status, my self-awareness. It's just a tool that I appreciate and I know that I have, but it's not Travis. And so that's probably a message I'm really trying to give, especially to, I love your audience, I love your platform, and I think these people, the creatives need to hear it the most. Like, you are creative, but that's not who you are.